Come join Dr. Rick on your journey from chaos to clarity. In this video, Dr. Rick will show you how to live a life you have envisioned, the best version of yourself, by embracing principles designed to meet chaos in your life head-on. Dr. Rick will show you how to harness chaos to fuel your journey to becoming everything you're capable of and more. Picture this. You're sailing on calm waters, under clear skies, with a perfect destination in mind. Life feels steady, predictable, and entirely under control. But suddenly, out of nowhere, a storm hits, and it's a big one. The waves are fierce, the sky turns dark, and you're tossed in every direction. The chaos is overwhelming. You lose your bearings. Ever been there? Most of us have in one way or another. And while we've been taught to see chaos as something to survive, I'm here to share why it's actually something to embrace. In fact, it's in these chaotic moments that we often find our greatest strength. Today, I want to talk about transforming our relationship with chaos, to shift our perspective so we not only survive but thrive. Because chaos isn't just something to bear. It's a powerful catalyst for reinvention. It challenges us to let go of what no longer serves us, to shed layers that hold us back, and to step into who we're truly meant to be. I've faced my share of storms, times when the life I thought I had planned completely unraveled. And perhaps you have too. Moments that felt like everything was falling apart. Maybe you lost a job, faced health challenges, saw a relationship crumble, or simply woke up one day to realize that the life you were living didn't match who you were. These are times when it can feel like the ground is falling out from under us. But one thing I've learned is that when we're staring into the mess and uncertainty, we actually have a choice. We can try to rebuild things exactly as they were, clinging to old patterns, or we can take a different approach. We can look at the chaos and see opportunity, a chance to rebuild not as we were, but as we truly want to be. That choice, to lean into the chaos rather than fight it, was my turning point. It's why I'm here today, with the clarity and purpose I feel in sharing this message with you. How then do we embrace chaos? It starts with one of the most challenging yet powerful acts we can practice: letting go. Chaos is not something we can control, no matter how hard we try. It's nature's way of pushing us, testing our limits, and ultimately, opening us to growth. But here's the beautiful irony. Letting go doesn't mean we're giving up. It means we're making space for something greater to come in. We've all been conditioned to crave predictability and stability. We like to have a plan, a direction, a 5-year map. And when life doesn't go as planned, it's easy to feel like we're lost. But what if, instead of fighting to keep everything in place, we leaned into the experience? By releasing the need to control every outcome, we allow ourselves to discover a deeper resilience, a hidden strength that often only emerges in moments of turmoil. Chaos, when fully embraced, gives us clarity. But I know this might sound easier said than done. How do we actually embrace chaos in a way that's empowering? That's where the tools and insights I've shared in my book, Chaos to Clarity, Embrace the Journey, come into play. I wrote it because I believe everyone can turn chaos into clarity, to use life's disruptions as stepping stones to greater purpose. Today, I'll walk you through 3 transformative steps you can use to take chaos from something that overwhelms to something that empowers. Step 1. Acknowledge and accept. This first step may seem simple, but it's one of the hardest. It involves looking directly at where we are, accepting the reality of our present situation. There's a tendency to want to skip over this part, to move straight to fixing things. But I'm here to tell you that in accepting the chaos, you start to reclaim your power over it. Instead of seeing chaos as an enemy, you can start to see it as an ally. Consider a personal moment of upheaval. For me, there was a time when I was staring at a life I had carefully built, a life I thought I wanted, and realizing that none of it felt right anymore. That's a tough pill to swallow, isn't it? We've all been there in some way or another, but I realized that accepting my current state, with all its imperfections, was liberating. It meant I no longer had to pretend, to hold up a facade that wasn't me. The energy I was using to resist could now be used to rebuild. Step 2. Reframe chaos as opportunity. This step is a mindset shift. Most of us instinctively view chaos as negative, as something to fear or resent. But in reality, chaos often creates space for new possibilities. When plans fall apart or familiar structures dissolve, we're given the chance to reevaluate, to think outside the box, to innovate. Think about it. Some of the most groundbreaking discoveries in history came about by accident. Sir Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin not because he planned it, but because he noticed something curious in a moldy petri dish. The microwave oven? It happened because a scientist accidentally melted chocolate in his pocket. Chaos, the unplanned, the unexpected, is often where creativity meets possibility. When we start to see chaos as fertile ground for opportunity, it becomes a door to a new adventure. Step 3. Define your values, then take aligned action. This is where true transformation happens. Chaos has a way of testing us, of showing us what really matters. It brings clarity to what we hold dear. Once we're clear on our core values, we can let them guide our choices, even when things are in flux. Take a moment now. What's one value you hold that defines you? It could be integrity, kindness, courage, or growth. Once you know this value, let it become your anchor. Even the smallest action you take based on this value will reshape your life. Chaos no longer has to be something we react to. Instead, we can act intentionally. Taking aligned actions isn't about knowing the whole map. It's about knowing the next right step. This grounded action, based on values, gives us the power to navigate any storm. I'd like to share a story about someone who turned his life around by embracing the chaos he was facing. Let me share Ryan's story, a story of transformation through embracing the chaos he was facing. For years, Ryan struggled. His relationships were strained, his self-confidence was low, and he felt entirely trapped in a relentless cycle of anger and self-doubt. His career was stagnant. Despite years of hard work, he found himself going nowhere. As his colleagues advanced, Ryan stayed in place, feeling overlooked and defeated. This frustration seeped into his family life, where his anger became destructive, directed at those he loved most. The more he struggled, the more he turned to substances as a way to numb the dissatisfaction, creating a vicious cycle of regret, dependency, and shame. As time passed, this stagnation weighed heavily on him, reinforcing the belief that he simply wasn't good enough. The constant frustration became part of his identity, taking over his relationships, his sense of self, and even his professional potential. But one day, Ryan decided he'd had enough. He chose to face the chaos rather than continue letting it control him. Instead of seeing his career as a dead end and his past as a failure, he began to reframe it all as a push towards something new, a chance to rewrite his story. Ryan took an honest look at his strained relationships, his unfulfilling career, and his dependency on substances. He began viewing his struggles as valuable lessons rather than setbacks, as signs guiding him toward growth. With intention, he took back control over his choices, setting clear boundaries with his family, nurturing his relationships, and learning healthier ways to channel his emotions. Reconnected with an old dream, he set his sights on building a business that aligned with his values and vision. He leaned into this new purpose, harnessing the strength he once used to resist the chaos and directing it toward creating a life he truly wanted. Today, Ryan is not just a changed man. He's a successful entrepreneur with a business rooted in principles that matter to him. His journey from self-doubt and anger to fulfillment was challenging, but by embracing the chaos rather than fearing it, Ryan transformed his life. His story shows that the chaos we face, when met with courage and intentional action, can become the foundation for a life that is not only productive, but deeply fulfilling. And just as Ryan did, each of us has the power to face our storms, rewrite our paths, and create a life that feels genuinely aligned with who we want to be. If Ryan could move from chaos to clarity, if he could break free from his old patterns, find his footing, and become the person he was meant to be, then so can you. The power to shift, to rise, to reinvent, it's all within your grasp. All it takes is the courage to lean into the turbulence, to embrace the discomfort, and to view the chaos in your life as a springboard for growth, not a barrier. Transformation isn't about perfection, it's about progress. On this journey, self-compassion is your best friend. There will be days when you take 2 steps forward, only to feel like you're being pulled 3 steps back. There will be moments when self-doubt creeps in, or when the pressure to revert to old ways feels overwhelming. In these moments, remember to show yourself kindness. Treat yourself as you would a friend. Think of self-compassion as your safety net. It's what allows you to fall and get back up without self-blame or judgment. The path to reinvention is rarely smooth, but every step, however small, brings you closer to the life you want. So, where does this leave you? The next time chaos knocks on your door, don't hide, don't run. Instead, greet it. Pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, what is this chaos here to teach me? Remember, each of us has a core set of values, an inner compass that can guide us, and that compass doesn't waver, even when the storm is raging. When you let your values lead you, every choice becomes an act of clarity and courage. You don't need to know the whole journey, just the next right step. Trust yourself to take action in alignment with your true self. Reinventing yourself isn't about abandoning who you are. It's about allowing the best version of you to emerge through each experience, each challenge, each moment of chaos. Embracing chaos is about stepping boldly into the unknown, trusting that you have the inner strength to navigate through. It's not just about survival, but transformation. Reinvention is not a one-time event. It's a commitment to ongoing growth, to living life on your terms. Let today be the day you commit to living your best life, not someday, but right here, right now. Lean into the chaos, find clarity within, and watch yourself transform into the person you're meant to be. Remember, your journey is unique, and it's constantly unfolding. Each choice you make today brings you closer to your authentic self. Embrace the journey, celebrate your growth, and trust that you're exactly where you need to be. Your best life is within reach, and it's waiting for you to claim it through courage, resilience, and joy in every step forward. Each concept we've touched on today, from defining your values to building resilience, from embracing diversity to protecting your inner peace, are more than just ideas. They're tools you can use to design a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. So, take that first step, no matter how small. Allow yourself to step into the unknown, trust the process, and remember that chaos, when harnessed, can become the most powerful force for transformation. The life you've envisioned, the best version of yourself. It's closer than you think. By embracing these principles, you can not only meet the chaos head-on, but let it fuel your journey to becoming everything you're capable of and more.